Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. This is really quick, by the way. I'm going to be switching channels eventually. After the group of uploads, I've actually got negative subscriptions, so the people have spoken. Can you move on from there? I'll figure out what the name is in the future and let you know. So, this match going to be Varus, Nidalee, Nocturne, Blitzcrank, and Vladimir going up against Kog'Maw, Nautilus, Kennen, Morgana, and Janna. The sisters on the same team. Top lane. I'll just call him Dawn. Kennen top going up against, which we'll see if this is AD Nidalee or not. Nidalee top. I actually like the beefier champions going up against Kennen, even though most of them tend to get countered, mostly because that forces there to be more overall beef on the opposite team. One problem with having Kennen top is you tend to want more of a tank oriented champion, because while he has some great initiation, can do a lot of damage with that stun, if he can't do anything else, if you don't burst through enough with whoever your AD and AP carry are, you end up in a lot of trouble, is what it comes down to. And I think that tends to be the one weakness. So oftentimes, especially at extremely high rankings, if you see a Kennen mid, you'll see something like a Cho'Gath or a Scion or one of the heavier mage tanks in middle. Anyway, Nautilus in jungle. Looks like he started at red buff, and let's see if he goes for a gank on Nidalee early. Unfortunately, this lane's fairly well pushed up. Actually, I'm coming into this game a lot later than I thought I was. Now that I look at it, looks like 2 kills have been scored, mostly by the Kog'Maw. We'll work with it, though. I've actually already had to drop out of one match, which was incredible, and it crashed. Go figure. Chris Danger is going to be Vlad in mid. For the AP carry on this side, Morgana is going to be the AP carry on the opposite side, and of course you have Varus, who actually I don't know a ton about. Mostly I know that he has a lot of skill shots on him. He's the new champ. I should actually read up on him. He's with Waka Waka Waka, the support Blitzcrank. Looks like Nocturne looking for a gank here, and it is Janna Kog'Maw. And Janna makes this lane extremely difficult to gank, and is absolutely necessary with this Kog'Maw because he has absolutely no escapes. So just looking at the overall team composition, red team, they're going to be oriented around protecting the Kog'Maw and letting him do as much damage as possible with infinity stuns is what they're hoping. So they really need that Kog'Maw to get fed. So the fact he has 2 kills is fantastic. Now here's the problem for the red team in the opposite corner, though. If this Kog'Maw does not get fed, if he does not get a lot of damage, and Morgana doesn't get a huge amount of kills, a ton amount of AP otherwise, they're just going to get out damaged, is really what it comes down to overall. Varus will be able to unload on them. Nocturne will be able to do a lot of damage from the jungle. Vlad can always do a lot of damage once he gets to his stage. Looks like Nautilus just waiting in this area. AD Nidalee can do a lot of damage, so it's going to come down to a lot of stuns. The one advantage for them is they have 3 champions. I'm sorry, they have most of their champions. And Nautilus is going to try to just do damage on turret. Nocturne swing in the area. Let's see if he drops a... Oh no, Dystopia going to get killed. Great job. Looks like a little bit of a shield there. Nautilus running to the north. I'm not sure he's running... Well, okay, never mind. He's got minions there to support, doing a little bit of damage. This is a great Nautilus. He's knowing exactly where to hit. Kennen in a little bit of trouble, but Nautilus there to support. Vlad now moving up for an additional kill. And this Nautilus, incredible. Protecting. Oh, Nocturne has his ult, and so much good protection done by that Nautilus, all for naught. Nocturne hit 6, ult's over, Kennen gone. Morgana looking for the cleanup, though, against Chris Danger, and it looks like she's going to be able to pick up the kill versus Vlad in the meantime. And I'll go ahead and rewind again. Hopefully it doesn't crash. This is what happened to me in the last commentary, which was, again, a good one, and it made me real sad. Okay, hit and play. So there's the old bottom lane. We have Kog'Maw running up. He has both of them low. Oh, this is a crazy fight right here. Janna, he needs a Janna shield. There's Summoner heal. Gets 1 kill. Gets the 2nd kill right there. Just as he's out of mana. I'm not sure what's up with the double wards. Maybe one was low. But things are really going well for the red team now. So even though, well, first of all, they got a huge amount of kills. Even though they got that double kill top lane, they've got 4 kills on this Kog'Maw. And again, this team is built, absolutely hands down built around Kog'Maw. Their biggest problem is going to be neutralizing that Nocturne and that Nocturne ultimate, really, and also dodging Blitzcrank Qs. The one thing I do like about blue team is seeing that I guess they do have a lot of opportunities to make this anti-Kog'Maw. They have a Blitzcrank pull. They have Vlad, who can just pull underneath a lot of that and get directly to Kog'Maw. You have, well, Faris is just going to sit at range most likely. You have Nidalee, who's extremely mobile in fights. She also has those spears she can chuck, and of course Nocturne, who can ult directly there. So essentially, if they get Quicksilver Sashes, they have a really strong chance in this game, but they need to make sure that it is, at this stage, only Kog'Maw that is unloading damage, and that they can get to him and kill him later in the game. So things look dire right now for the blue team. It is currently 6-2, but keep in mind, composition-wise, Reds still might be able to sneak back into this. And we'll see how that continues to progress. Morgana mid lane, she has blue buff. Vlad does not need blue buff, so let's see if he actually continues to feed it to Nocturne or even Nidalee top lane, so Nidalee can just go Spear Chucker. I assume Nidalee, and it looks like she is going to go, in fact, AD. You don't see a lot of AP Nidalees these days anymore. She's extremely mobile, and look at that damage output. So much damage output against that Kennen. That's one problem with Kennen top, is he tends to be a little bit squishy, and I think Nidalee is one of the few counters, or at least champions that can just sit in lane with him and unload damage, and really get the advantage over him against Kennen. Almost, there's a huge list of champions that just have such a hard time against Kennen. Varus needs to be very careful on this lane and essentially make sure he doesn't feed any more kills to this Kog'Maw. Morgana swinging down. She is, looks like she's going to go for a swing underneath Kog'Maw, trying to clear this lane as quickly as possible. Never mind, she's going to back up. Wonder if they saw that Blitzcrank moving back. In the meantime, attempted gank top lane. Nidalee has a lot of movement, though. She jumps. Does she get out of the stun? Looks like she's just able to sneak away from that Kennen ult. Nautilus misses it as well, and she is out. So eating a lot of CC and a lot of reach CC, just able to stay on that corner. One of the big things that Nidalee can do. Chris Danger, in danger. Needs to be very wary of that Morgana. Morgana had that ward, and that could have turned into a 3-on-1 situation very rapidly, but he's just going to swing around back up. Nocturne looking for an opportunity against this Morgana. Morgana is one of the hardest ganks, period, though, in lane. Baits out the snare, looking for maybe an attempted spell shield. Nocturne needs to be careful, doesn't want any piece of Morgana. That's really what it comes down to. She's swinging down, looking for another group attack bottom lane. Nocturne's mirroring her a little bit. Blitzcrank running up, is able to knock up Janna. Let's see if Faris is able to get a kill, but wow, knocks Blitzcrank back. Morgana gets there, ults on top of both of them. Nocturne trying to do what he can in the meantime. Ult lands, Blitzcrank dead, and Kog'Maw gets another kill. Great play on his part, and they're just going to shove this back in the meantime. Great ult on Janna, first of all. Second of all, great follow-up by Morgana to really secure that kill. Looks like Janna, they're just going to push this lane up. Maybe go for Dragon. They've got it opened up. It looks like Nautilus is backed out middle lane, but honestly, three of them should be able to take Dragon. No problem. They might even be able to dive it, honestly. This is the thing. If Morgana hits a good snare as well, Kog'Maw, he's a little bit low on mana at this stage, but when he has any mana under his belt, he can just rain down the destruction from the skies. Kog'Maw off to a great start. This could be a very, very quick game because, again, Kog'Maw fed, a team built around Kog'Maw. That's a recipe for devastation. Varus there, Nocturne there, Blitzcrank there. Does Nocturne have ult? It looks like Nocturne does, in fact, have his ultimate up. Only a smite on cooldown. In the meantime, though, it looks like Janna and Kog'Maw going to back off lane. Huge victory bottom lane thus far for Kog'Maw. Varus doing a good job to stay at least somewhat nearby in CS. And Blitzcrank not being a huge amount of help overall. Blitzcrank tends not to be as good later games just because, or higher ELOs. Dystopia's going to get ignited. Is she going to be able to get out? Potion to go through the ignite. Looks like she is going to be able to sneak out. Nautilus trying to counter a jungle Nocturne, and it looks like, yeah, going to create a bit of a scare. Nidalee, what are you doing? Still here. Lots of pings saying, hey, look out. You got a Nautilus right there. Ult on top of her. She's stuck. She's gone. Stayed there way too long. And I'm sure the Nautilus, the Nocturne, I have to assume the Nocturne warned her, unless that Nocturne hates that Nidalee. Just like, I wanted to die. I don't even care. Going from there. Ult on top of Kennen. Kennen overstaying his welcome as well. And Nautilus abandoning that top lane. That's got to be so frustrating for that Nautilus at this stage. That's twice he's been present in lane, where before he did some fantastic tanking and his team still just ends up getting killed. So it looks like that Nocturne has a couple, well, 1 kill, 2 assists. 2 kills for Vlad in the meantime. Vlad, also I would say anybody, if that Vlad, if that Nidalee, if that Nocturne, if they get any sort of good damage underneath their belt, they could be a real threat against that Kog'Maw as well. Looks like Vlad calling for a gank down bottom. That Tribush is in fact warded, so this could be a difficult opportunity. Kog'Maw sees it. Looks like they saw it in the earlier ward. Vlad realizes he's been spotted, and he's just going to back out rather than force it. Very intelligent, nice game sense on his end. Looks like Nidalee going to swing around, realizing that it's just going to ward there. Unnecessary pool. That's, yeah, dangerous situation. Can't waste pools like that. Morgana sees it. It's going to go in, going to drop an ignite, but great juking skills on Vlad's part. I almost want to say, hey, was that a bait? I'm going to drop pool, force Morgana to jump on turret, and then she's going to just take a huge amount of damage and have to be out. Looks like now the hunt begins. Nocturne trying to find her. It looks like Nidalee trying to find her as well. They find her in there, gets the hit. Spell shield not going to make a difference. Now Nocturne has 2 kills, and that is that's the absolute top priority that the blue team, I'm sorry, that the red team did not want to have kills, because Nocturne can just jump right on top of that Cogmon as long as he does not get, as long as Janna and the others have trouble doing anything against him, as long as he has a Quicksilver Sash in his repertoire somewhere there, he's going to be able to, and gets past that knock-up, he's just going to be able to unload a huge amount of damage against that Kog'Maw, basically for free. Kennen having trouble top lane. He's got 2 deaths, is actually managed to stay relatively even in the overall creep score. Sophie is just going to start bowling him out of lane, so I expect that to shift around. Doing a nice job of kiting there, right? In the meantime, that spear doing very little. She's got a heal in lane where Kennen does not, and she can unload a huge amount of damage in her cat form, but she needs to not overextend like this. Great job kiting there on Kennen's part. Looks like we have a bit of a group up here bottom lane. Nocturne was there, is just being a little bit of a threat. Waka Waka Waka. Great name. Sorry, Waka Waka Wak. Gotta be clear on this. Putting up a little bit of pressure. He's 2 levels below just because of those 3 deaths. Nautilus moving in, looking for a counter gank attempt. Varus is a little bit exposed. And it looks like, Blitzcrank, does he see it? No. Not a lot of ward coverage here either. They have it in that internal area, but bottom lane currently very few wards, partially just because this Blitzcrank has died so often. Nautilus looking for an opportunity, saying, hey, look, I know someone's in this lower jungle. You see that ward. Vlad, do you want to go for it? What's going on? He's waiting on the swing by. Blitzcrank was moving his way up. Okay, now, misses the pull. Wow, is he lagging or what? That was a really lazy pull on his, I gotta say, on his part. Janna stuck in lane alone. It looks like Kog'Maw was in fact forced out. Nidalee doing some free damage on that top turret in the meantime. And Varus managing to get a little bit of solo farm in lane at 103. I assume that Kog'Maw went back to get his Phantom Dancer, and this is more often the build I've seen on Kog'Maw lately, which is to just build a lot of attack speed. And actually, I'm a little bit shocked he's building it this way, considering the team composition. I would actually expect him to build a little bit more damage-oriented. Looks like Nidalee is going to be able to, well, might be able to get, yeah, should be able to finish off the top turret. Kennen has no protection, so Dystopius, let's see if she decides to swing around, particularly because Kennen ate that trap, but no, too low on mana, didn't want to risk it. But Kog'Maw, because of his W, Bio-Arcane Barrage, he gets a ton of range, and he can just do damage, a life percentage damage, essentially, over time. So when he has that Phantom Dancer, ult on top of him, this is what I'm talking about. Trying to get out, looks like Janna was able to Q, Blitzcrank pulls him back, still damage raining down on top of him. Varus is going to be able to pick up the Q, and it looks like Nocturne able to finish it off. They expect that to happen for the rest of the game. And again, the red team's gonna have a hard time basically covering, just trying to keep him alive. Kennen trying to go through that lower area. Looks like ult from Vlad. Vlad pulling all over the top of them. He's eating a lot of damage. Kennen has been taken out. Now it's Nautilus 2-on-1. He can't unload enough damage to get through this. Vlad looks like he was ignited, has gotten back. Nidalee hopping the wall, chasing him down. Morgana nearby. She needs to be careful. She's gotten counterpulled. She's out of mana, and she needs to get back to that brush. Let's see if that, actually, no, never mind. Vlad is gone. I was going to say, hey, let's see if there's Vlad support. But nope, nowhere nearby. Nocturne ult, keep doing that. Nocturne ult is down, so he can't provide any sort of latent support. His ultimate to give some blindness, things like that. But anyway, getting back to Kog'Maw. Because you can just build just straight attack speed, and because you're doing a percentage of damage health, you get a lot of attack speed, and I forget what the exact percentage is at max level, but it's significant. I think it's something like 6 or 8%, something like that. So essentially, you're doing that much damage, you only need to get a certain amount of hits. You might as well just pump those hits out as quickly as possible. And if you have any attack damage on top of it, like with those Doran's Blades with Infinity Edge, all the better. You can kill people in just a few amount of hits. But again, I was thinking he was going to have to be, looking at this composition, I disagree with the Phantom Dancer opening with this particular composition, because he's most of his team's damage right now. Morgana only has 1 kill. She does have a needlessly large rod. She's actually going to build Zhonya's Hourglass, so she's just going to sit there and open up with the stuns. So it's his job to unload as much damage as possible in this circumstance, and he's not going to be able to do that. And usually you want AoE to do that with his ultimate, where he just drops those basically bricks. He's just shooting magical bricks from the sky. It's really what it comes down to. It looks like he's going to get pushed off. Nocturne ultimate, thinking about it. No. Oh, no, he is going to dash to Janna. This is actually a disastrous situation with Nautilus swinging around. Blitzcrank, great pull! Kills the Janna, but he's in trouble. Yeah, he's going to die otherwise. Varus, I'm not sure he's going to get out. Vlad coming in, wants to support. Varus has been wiped out as well. Ooh. A little bit messy there on that bottom lane. A little bit of an overcommit. And looks like they weren't able to focus on, actually, again, lack of wards for that Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank, kind of a liability, honestly, for the blue team at this stage, as he tends to be. There's finally a ward from Nocturnes. Spell shielding, going to be able to sneak his way out. But anyway, 6-1 Kog'Maw, but I was hoping to see Infinity Edge or more heavy damage items in his composition rather than the Phantom Dancer first. So that's actually going to, I think, make it a little bit harder for them in the mid-game overall. And let's see if the blue team is able to capitalize. Actually, if you look at just the flat gold, because of that top turret take, they're just about even. And again, I worry about, especially with going Zhonya's Hourglass first on Morgana, instead of a larger attack damage like a Death Cap or even going Rod of Ages. Essentially, she's not going to be outputting a huge amount of damage. She's mostly relying on her stuns to open things up for the rest of the team. So if I was the blue team at this stage, particularly looking at the status of their build, as soon as I would honestly expect second, even second, maybe third item to be Quicksilver Sash, and that could basically win them the game. Basically. Anyway, Blitz going up, trying to ward toward the north. Kog'Maw getting work done. 151 CS. Is out and out won this lane. Huge amount of kills. Varus is just trying to keep things as close as possible. Having difficulty doing so. Blarg. Looks like blue buff has been taken. I'm not sure why I did that, Blarg, by Morgana. Chris, danger and danger. Looks like he, Trigger Theory, kind of chasing him down and taking some free minion damage. In the meantime, hitting level 13. Vlad looks like is controlled mid lane. In the meantime, has 3 kills comparatively. He's about 10 CS up. Not a huge amount, but a good amount. He has a lot of lifesteal. Dystopia, of course, has absolutely dominated this lane. So they've won top lane. They've won middle lane. Nautilus has done a pretty good job in the jungle, but it looks like Nocturne's won that overall in just kills and assists. So again, it's down to Kog'Maw, who's won bottom lane, to do all the work. As we move into the what I would call the mid game at this stage, when the AP, who's basically kind of, usually you'll see the AP carry take over at this stage, and it's the AP's job to do most of the damage and just allow for those last few seconds until you get that Infinity Edge or that Phantom Dancer or things like that. But at this stage, I gotta think blue team could be in a good position if they decide to group up and go for some groups. But Waka Waka getting chased down, Nautilus doing what he can. Varus can't save him. Janna moving in, some continued ults. Nice pull on turret. Kog'Maw taking some additional damage, plus that exhaust. Unfortunately, it is not going to be enough. Looks like it's going to be a counter gank attempt in the middle. Vlad going for additional kill. Hourglass there from Trigger Theory, but going to get caught by Nocturne. Good follow-up by Kennen. Vlad stays alive because of his latent lifesteal. Not able to finish off, but that is going to cost Kennen his life. So 2 more deaths. The triplets at the bottom are going to move their way up. Nidalee manages to take out that turret. She might be able to jump a wall to escape, but nice flash there actually to escape that Nautilus pull. Now in Cougar form, and he's going to be able to work her way out. Wow. But most of this team, again, I'm not sure if I can. I don't know if I've emphasized this enough. Most of this is going to go around to this Kog'Maw, and he does not have Infinity Edge yet. So I'm still, and actually blue has, because of those 2 turret kills, has the kill lead, or sorry, the gold lead overall. Excuse me, but still 3 deaths down. But at this stage, let's see. I would honestly, if I was a blue team, just group up. Again, Quicksilver Sashes, and which are fairly cheap items. And I think they're sitting pretty. They're good to go. Looks like Vlad has got his Rabadon's Death Cap. That's going to make him an absolute devastating beast in lane. Warmog's just now finishing for Nocturne, and he's got an amazing kit to work with. You see that damage just on 1 hit. Oh, it's so strong. for Kog'Maw right there. And plus, when you have that shield on top of it, he just unleashes so much damage so quickly. Varus looks like he's getting dived between the two. Let's see if Blitzcrank swings back around, able to knock him up. Kog'Maw, yeah, able to finish that kill, trying to get a pull. Wasn't able to get the pull accomplished. Might have wanted to go for that Janna instead. And now that Varus, getting crushed. 4 deaths. 7, 1, and 2 Kog'Maw. Can he do it? Ult on top of him, trying to get the heck out of there. Janna needs to throw that tornado. Looks like there it is. Jumping. It's not going to make a difference though. Kog'Maw trying to get that follow-up kill on Blitzcrank. Not able to get it done. And now, yeah. Again, more scariness. Nocturne at 6, 0, and 3 has plenty of damage to unleash. He's waiting around a little bit too long. Looks like he had a ward. Was almost trying to bait that because of that Vlad. A little bit of a skirmish between Kennen and Nidalee. Nidalee will win that currently. She has her Sheen. Mile looks like she's working her way towards the Trinity Force. There is a red ward here, which is going to be able to... they're going to see them engage in Dragon. This is scary, scary territory. Morgana nearby. Nautilus also nearby. Actually, at this stage, I think they have enough health to work at it. It looks like Blitzcrank is just kind of baiting as well. Spell Shield, I assume they got rid of that snare. And Vlad just trying to do what he can. Looks like Nautilus still just going to work on that Dragon. Vlad pulling through it, trying to get that regeneration. Look at all that damage he unloads. Is taken out. Hourglass finished off by Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank, actually Nautilus pulling himself to Blitzcrank. Might end up getting taken out. Jan trying to provide some support, but that these two are going to be able to work through that. Whew, Nocturne ultra fed now, almost as fed, well, actually more fed than that Kog'Maw at this stage. Because of those 2 assists. Nocturne overstaying his welcome though. Not sure he's going to be able to get out. Okay, they're flashing. Varus trying to do some damage over that top edge. And now you can see that gap closing in the kill to death ratio. Blue well ahead as far as just flat gold goes, especially with that last dragon. And that's unfortunate for the red team. Nice opportunity though. They're really intelligently going for it. Log Riders pinned in by these. That's a lot of CC. Flashing out, ignited, not enough. Poor Varus. That sucks. He's just been, yeah, 0-5. He's having a tough game. Bottom turret gonna get taken out fairly rapidly here. And that's going to help even up things. That puts it within, actually underneath 1,000 gold difference. Bottom jungle is currently owned by the red team. Vlad is there. None of this is warded though, so they have absolutely no idea where that rest of that team is. So Vlad just going to do the safe thing, go to that turret. Blitzcrank moving his way. Blitzcrank's kind of the other sore spot. So that's 10 deaths. Basically, it's bottom lane. That's been the problem at this stage. 10 deaths between them, and that is basically more than half of the red team's kills overall. Kog'Maw 7, 2, and 3. That's who they wanted to get fed, but keep in mind, things could shift. I know I sound repetitive at this stage, and I don't know what to say otherwise. I'm just saying, hey, wait for the teamfight phase as it swings back around. The other issue will be Kennen, how many people he can hit with that ult. And honestly, no Quicksilver Sashes anywhere in here. No anti-stun. Vlad obviously has this pool. Nidalee's just going to have to try to jump out of it. Blitzcrank is going to have to try to stay out of that edge. But once it comes to the teamfight phase, because they don't have a lot of that anti-stun I was kind of hoping for, they are going to have to weather the crowd control storm, all those slows, all those knockups and whatnot. But still, it's going to be an absolute hilarious dive fest at Kog'Maw. That's what you're going to see. You're just going to see kind of a giant scramble. It's almost going to be like a game of hot potato, just diving directly at him and just sitting through all those stuns and everything in the meantime. So honestly, in Kog'Maw's part, after he gets that Infinity Edge, it might even be worthwhile to go for a Zeal, another Zeal, actually, just to improve his movement speed, because he's going to be target bait for a very long time. Very long time. Varus continuing to farm up. He's doing a valiant effort. He actually does have Infinity Edge. He's actually gone for Vampiric Scepter as well, because it's like, I'm not going to be able to outmaneuver this team. We'll see how successful that is for him in the late game. Actually, sorry, Vampiric Scepter is ult, Morgana spell shields up. She's just absorbing a lot of that damage. Nautilus being picked away at by that Nidalee underneath. Kog'Maw is nowhere in this fight, so this should be a big win for blue team. But Vlad, okay, able to get the kill, but therefore, oh wow, so much damage really it comes down to in that fight. Kog'Maw now moving in, Dystopia in a little bit of trouble. Might get ulted. Waka Waka doing what supports do best, pushing in. Vlad on the opposite corner is not in a real position where he can join in this fight. Waka Waka is now gone, and Kog'Maw able to do one cleanup. They did manage to force Nocturne out of that fight, which surprised me a little bit. I was expecting Nocturne to be able to sit there for a longer period of time, considering he has a Ghost Blade first of all, and a Warmogs otherwise. Now he's getting some of that magic resist under his belt. Basically to deal with both Kennen yeah, just to deal with Kennen and Morgana, because it's all AP except for Kog'Maw at this stage, and Kog'Maw actually has a little bit of magic damage underneath his belt as well. Actually, very AP heavy team when you examine it overall. But anyway, in the meantime, I think this bottom turret is going to get taken out by Nidalee fairly easily. She's got that Infinity Edge, she has the minion line, no one is even close. Oh, she's actually going to leave it up. Oh, that surprises me. She could totally take this turret up, but I guess she does not have any warding in this lower... Oh, never mind, the minion... Okay, there she turned around. There we go. Yay. I don't feel quite as silly. Now they've got another serious lead overall. They're calling for, hey, there's no wards here at Baron. There is this ward in this lower bush. Nocturne going in. This is almost suicidal. He's jumping on top of that Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw just running there, not doing any damage. Nautilus trying to do knockups when he can. Great flash there by Kog'Maw to save his own life. Hop to that corner. Blitzcrank pulling out Janna. Chris Danger trying to do what he can. It looks like they're both going to be pulled out. Varus moving her way up. I'm not sure where Nidalee's at in all this. She's back at spawn, so it is a 4-on-3 situation. But that flash by Kog'Maw, huge, gigantic top turret being taken out in the meantime. But there's a big fight around mid turret. Varus really can't push Kog'Maw off. Just has superior poke in that regard. They really need Nocturne to be alive and have his ult up. So basically Nocturne going into an unfavorable situation. Too many people surrounding. Still almost able to get it done though. Still almost able to kill Kog'Maw. If not for that flash over that wall, that would have been game essentially. It looks like blue team pinging over at Baron saying, hey, keep an eye on it. They do have that warded. I don't think red team's going to go for it at this stage, particularly considering how many people are up. Nocturne back up. Kennen just continuing to try to poke away at this turret. This is where the blue team does not want to fight. They do not want to fight kind of this unilateral direction sort of thing where Kog'Maw and Kennen can just throw all that crap at them and hit stuns at range and allow Kog'Maw to just unload damage at range and just laugh at them basically. Do a little laugh dance, which is really cute. Nice shield. Chris Danger in trouble having to pull out of that, trying to escape, and he's actually going to be pushed off. That's most certainly going to give this turret to the red team. Nautilus sneaking across, being pushed back a little bit by that Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank did not want to start. He would have been in a bad position. Nice spell shield last second there by Nocturne to avoid that Morgana stun. Kennen taking some poke damage from on that corner. Nocturne thinking about it, does jump. Nice spell shield! And he's going to flash back out. Honestly, I think he should have saved that, and that's going to hurt. He's just eating a huge amount of damage, being pushed all the way back. Varus doesn't have a lot of damage he can output in the meantime, so he's got to rely on Dystopia, who's also kind of a sit back and attack. This is a crazy fight. Moving back in, Morgana spell shielding once again. Janna ult to try to push people back. Log Rider is completely out of that fight. Blitzcrank able to pull Kog'Maw, but no one's there to deliver damage. Vlad just now getting back. There's the ult. Two are going to die from this, and it should be a two. Never mind. Switching back around, Kog'Maw down, still has that ult up. Is he going to be able to hit Dystopia? Yes, but not able to kill her, fortunately. Janna still up. Kennen now returning to the fight from whence he died right at the beginning. They need to be careful swinging back into this because this is still a dangerous situation. Chris Danger switching around, pulling, Nidalee trying to get a spear or something to assist, or some heals. Chris Danger able to annihilate that Kennen. Great attack. Overall, huge win for the blue team. That was just a messy fight, even in kills overall, but I think that... aside from bottom lane pushing, it looks like Vlad does have that push on middle turret. I think this will open up a Baron opportunity for the blue team. They're quite a bit low on health, but if Vlad runs up, tanks it, and they get Varus up there in a hurry, they should be able to get this before the rest of the team can respond, giving first of all, a more sizable gold league and a really strong position in this match. Great play overall, I gotta say, by the blue team. They're really getting it accomplished. Yeah, gonna be able to finish it. Nice job. So, okay, Baron buff up on all of their team. Varus is not being not an ultra-effective AD carry at this stage. He doesn't have a lot of escapes. It's very difficult to protect him against this team. Basically, this protection is going to have to rely on the fact that... that's so scary looking. On the fact that the rest of his team is just going to be chasing that Kog'Maw down constantly. Looks like they just realized, nope, Baron down. Well, that sucks. Let's see if he actually... He's getting red buff. He should push out that bottom lane. They're all going to go back, buy items, and basically continue in this fight from that stage on. Great choice, huge choice there from Kog'Maw, getting the Guardian Angels. He knows he is essentially this team's pure carry, and that if he dies, that could very likely be matched. Nautilus does have a Frozen Heart in the meantime. He's got a lot of tank to him. Morgana does have a needlessly large rod, but she's still not able to output the same damage level that Vlad is. Also not, she's stuns, but not a lot of tank otherwise. Looks like we're going to see, ooh, this dragon, I should say. This dragon most likely going to go to the blue team because it is going to be 5 on 4. I don't think they want to approach it. Maybe Kog'Maw goes for a long-range steal. No, it looks like they're just going to back out, count their losses. The gold continues to climb for the blue team. Not completely in control of this game yet, but it is getting closer and closer and closer to the end game here. Nocturne, the hero, 7-1 and 8. Great play on his part overall. Playing a little risky. Hiding on that corner, looking for the opportunity. Actually, yeah, is alone though. And now he's just going to eat a lot of damage on that way across. Trying to pull back. He's playing very aggressive now at this stage. It looks like that is going to open up some damage on that turret as they were chasing him down. Nice spell shield. So that turret gone. Attempted pull, not able to hit anything. Especially with that spell shield and everything else. Kennen overexposed. Wow, that damage from that Varus. Great trigger attack, and Kennen has absolutely zero tank to him. And this is what I was talking about, that trouble with having Kennen top lane. They have to rely on stuns. They don't actually have any real tank. They're having to rely on hourglasses and other things to make up for it. Chris Danger shifting in. Ult on Kennen. Again, probably should have saved that for Kog'Maw overall. Still gets the kill, still able to get out, so ignore me. He's a much better player than I am. Still playing extremely risky. Nidalee healing, trying to get across that corner. They are attacking on top of turret with Baron buff. Chris Danger swinging in, just trying to isolate that Kog'Maw. He is going to end up getting killed, but he's going to be able to at least be able to get rid of that Guardian Angel in the meantime. Log Rider. Nope, not able to get it accomplished. Just too much fighting on turret right there. A little bit of an overextension by the blue team. They overstayed their welcome. Also, I feel like that ult from Nog... Oh, turning around. Kennen going too far in. Trying to get the kill. Gets knocked up. Pulled. Chain CC'd. Goodbye. Oh, Kennen. 7 deaths for him now. But right now, yeah, basically the red team is trying to rely... And honestly, I don't know that they can really approach. That's really what it comes down to. They're relying on essentially hourglasses to keep them alive in these fights and target reselection. And unfortunately, with the target reselection, I think as soon as the blue team goes, no, let's just pound down that Kog'Maw, that'll be that Nocturne running in. He cannot stand and fight without a little bit of help against this Kog'Maw now. Just going to end up losing too much health. He is 8-1 and 9, does have a good amount of magic resist, is starting to build armor as well. It's fairly tanky, and that shows you, even with all of that tank, how much damage Kog'Maw does and how rapidly he does it. Again, with just that Biocane barrage up. So, and that got rid of quite a bit of Baron buffs. Also, looks like Nidalee still does have it for a bit of time here. It looks like it's winding down, so I don't know that they're going to be able to get another team fight as it continues. Still a sizable lead for the blue team. 1 kill up, but sizable because of turrets, dragons, barons. And it looks like they're going to continue to fight this out valiantly at this stage. Things, well, let's see how it works out. That Kog'Maw doing a great job for his team. The Guardian Angel, if he can even get an Infinity Edge, or sorry, not Infinity Edge, a Bloodthirster on top of that, he could get extremely scary. Extremely scary. What shocks me here on the meantime is still absolutely no Quicksilver Sashes against this heavy stun team composition. We'll see how that works out ultimately. Attempted snare. Blitzcrank going to take his place on that corner. He's hoping to grab a pull. Kennen has mostly been the target of a lot, most of this stuff, because he's been the one playing a little bit risky along that corner. Morgana is there, throwing up a shield and to try to push, knowing that Blitz is there, pushing him out of position. Blitz trying to engage, going for that Vlad. Vlad does expend his pool. And that is actually fairly significant because Vlad has been most of their damage here at this stage, just because that Varus has been so shut down. Varus does have a lot of items under his belt, so he might be able to start unloading some damage right here. Nocturne's built mostly tank, still has a good amount of damage, particularly because he has Atmas and Paler on top of it at this stage, which just absolutely is a huge boost to his attack damage, as well as his beefiness overall. So they're just going to sit here, try to peck away, try to get some sort of push, look for an opportunity. Kennen is bottom, so let's see if they go for an attempt here. They have a ward in that bush. That's going to force them off the middle. The one difficulty for the blue team in this situation is they do not have a huge amount of poke. Varus is a shorter range attack damage champion, so it's a little bit more difficult to poke away at these turrets. You can see they eat a lot of attack damage as that happens. Kennen coming back to the mid. Blitzcrank a little bit alone, and he... Okay, it's a good thing that ward's down. Oh, just barely dodged that Morgana ult. I was almost certain he was going to die in that situation, actually. It looks like he was able to escape. Blue team backing off. Ooh, Chris Danger actually eating a lot of damage right there. as he swings back. He's still got a huge amount of lifesteal under his belt between the Hextech Revolver, actually a lot of slow as well. Chris Danger, no, run! Looks like he's getting hit. His pool, there's the pool, but I don't think he can get out otherwise. Getting caught. Huge amount of damage outloaded anyway. Almost able to kill that Janust, and is actually going to force a death on that cannon. Nocturnal from that corner. Again, they need to isolate that Kog'Maw. That exhaust is going to be huge. Yeah, ignore the cannon, let him escape. Work on the rest of the team. Morgana being worked out. There's the one, yeah, and Morgana's job, just keep that Kog'Maw alive. And they're, oh man, the blue team taking a lot of trouble here because they're ignoring this Kog'Maw. They're just letting that Kog'Maw unload damage, and as a result, the rest of the team is in fact surviving, and it looks like they're actually going to end up losing this fight overall. Waka Waka being pushed off. Blitzcrank can't swing and do it. Still, it's going to, oh yeah, so 3 deaths, and the solution here is not ignore the Kog'Maw, in my opinion. I think if they kill that Kog'Maw, they're in a solid situation overall. But as long as they continue to peck away at that Morgana, try to take out that Kennen, alternatively, they're just going to end up getting worked. Oh, and Varus getting annihilated there as well. So now the red team actually might be able to win it on that. The entire opposite team is in fact dead. They should be able to get a turret, most likely an inhibitor on top of it, take the gold lead, and then Baron just spawned. So they can do all this, and basically blue team's just going to have to watch and let them take Baron to follow this up. So throwing the lead away. Lead is now hands down in the red team's favor. Oh, Vlad, don't get caught again. Oh yeah, getting hit. Nocturne coming up to try to go for a save. Is able to do so. Working again on that Janna. Again, need to ignore the supports, try to isolate that Kog'Maw as best as possible, and I think that's where the Quicksilver Sashes would have helped, to just dive in Quicksilver Sash as they're going. They still have to go through one knockup, but that knockup does have a significant cooldown. And unfortunately, because they're trying to, basically they're having to work at a reverse angle, they're trying, because of the lack of Quicksilver Sashes, they're trying to attack that Janna, get rid of the CC, get rid of the knockups, then turn on everyone else. Specifically the Kog'Maw, and that's just not getting accomplished. This Baron's going to die extremely rapidly. And Kennen, in the meantime, also going to steal red buff. Let's see if this Kennen gets taken out as he's sneaking in this bush. Nocturne realizes he's there, is going to be able to get red buff nevertheless, and is hunting that Kennen down, sees that Baron was in fact taken there, wasn't able to do anything about it. Nice little stun there on the corner. So things really working out for the red team. Looks like they're going to be able to steal blue. Oh, and give it to Kog'Maw as well. That's huge. Kog'Maw with blue buff, scary, 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 scary. He also has a lot of armor pen with the Last Whisper, going to be very effective against that Nocturne now. And I actually like what red team's doing. They're basically going, okay, let's get rid of our main damage source that's the biggest threat, which is Vlad on the opposite side. So as soon as they focus Vlad down, and Vlad's been out of those fights, and Nocturne's been ulting everyone else but Kog'Maw, essentially Kog'Maw's been free just to rain the destruction. So it's basically just been kind of a Candyland pick off the champion game for Kog'Maw. He just can select his target, work it down, unload all of that damage at range, and just basically have a field day. He is double buff now. Has all 3 buffs. All the buffs you can have on Summoner's Rift. Party time for him. In the meantime, Vlad, another needlessly large rod. He's got a huge amount of AP, 719 AP, so he can unload a huge amount of damage. He cannot get caught again. He's just been eating a huge amount of damage from this Nautilus, though, who's just been poking away at him in these corners. Red team looking to start a fight. They want to start something. They want to get aggressive. They want to catch this team in opposite corner, getting rid of the wards. They're going to take Dragon in the meantime. They have, I think for the first time, well, not the first time, for the first time in a long time, they've gotten the gold lead. Things looking good for them. Swinging back around, Nocturne, Vlad being shoved out. Looks like, ooh, nice spear, so it's going to give him a bit of vision. Varus going to be pushed back. They're just going for split pushes in the meantime. They're going to clear that bottom lane and then try to go for another entry point. Actually, they can just swing around the middle and go for entry point there. Oh, Kennen gets pulled! Hourglass, which is going to shove the rest of them away, but they continue to rain the destruction. Ultimate right there. Going to try to go for some stuns. Nocturne getting whittled away at. Vlad working on that Nautilus and Morgana. You can see they're all just shielding this Kog'Maw. And Kog'Maw can just sit and do a huge amount of damage, actually. I think he can still stand and fight. In fact, Nautilus can just go in that jungle and continue. And you can see he's not retreating, just able to pound away a huge amount of damage. Goodbye, gone. Nocturne turning around, ulted. Kog'Maw is going to get taken out. Is he going to get taken out? Okay, now he has that Guardian Angel up. Now back up. Gone. Huge turnaround for the blue team. Okay, there's ult, going to be able to get Log Rider. But, ooh, nice flash on Longbrider's part. So he's out of there. This is a big opportunity, able to take out a lot of that Baron buff. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to capitalize it on a huge amount because they got to come back and try to re-protect their main, which is getting pushed. But that was a big turn of events for the blue team, able to knock some of that Baron buff out. And that's going to put them right back in this game. So while things were looking a little bit dicey, things are basically dead even at this stage. Blue team a little bit behind because they've lost some of this exterior turrets and inhibitors down. But overall, still not in an awful position. It is anyone's match. Varus has actually managed to get some of his damage up and running. Most of this team is not tanky oriented, so he can actually unload. Now he's actually a significant factor. Can unload damage as long as he keeps himself alive. And honestly, he's not going to be the focus Vlad is, so might be able to do so very, very effectively. And it's kind of hilarious, actually. The red team, they've got this what I'll call the invincible target syndrome going on, where wherever they're at, they can just drop an hourglass when they're low on health, and the rest of the team has to switch targets, work on someone else, and you got that sliver of time where they come back in. So it's really got to be frustrating for the blue team having to switch targets constantly, basically throughout this entire match, turning into a really good one. Chris Danger going back to spawn in the meantime. Kennen working on those raids, trigger theory up there. Just both sides clearing jungle, trying to stage things for the next fight. I think blue team is going to wait to engage until that inhibitor comes back up. Want to make sure there aren't any super minions in lane or whatnot. Red team should capitalize on the fact they still have super minions in the meantime and push mid. They might be wanting to wait for Kog'Maw though to get that angel armor back before they really go for a wholesale engage. Because again, when Kog'Maw's vulnerable, I still think the rest of the team is vulnerable. So it comes down to Morgana. Oh, ult dropped on Nocturne. He's not going to go for a dive though, which is unfortunate. I wish he had, again, saved that. Blitzcrank trying to run up, trying to get a pull Nautilus in the way that you do not want to pull Nautilus in this team composition. Blue inhibitor is respawned. Now looking for an opportunity. They want to try to work out those super minions, the gigantic ones that do huge amounts of damage and are extremely beefy in lane. They got so much health. They're just an aggravation. Looks like both lanes are pushing in red team's favor, so they're going to be able to dictate things here currently. Also with that Nocturne ult down, they know they can engage a little bit more aggressively. Varus trying to do stuff along that corner. You can see Kog'Maw just trying to do some damage. They're chasing everyone all the way back. Oh man, this inhibitor actually might just get taken down without a fight. Nocturne out of position. Looks like 4 are there. Kennen's trailing, trying to do what they can. Varus doing some damage across that bottom corner. Dystopia getting caught. That is forcing the engagement. Vlad trying to pool in the middle of it. He drops an ult. Morgana ulting as well. Kennen ulting. Stuns absolutely everywhere. Double kill for Kog'Maw. Again, Kog'Maw being Kog'Maw. He's able to pull out of that fight. Vlad getting the double kill in the back corner. He's using his hourglass. Dystopia is going to be out of it. And again, Nautilus able to tank Kennen. Yeah, things working out perfectly for the red team. And I gotta say, and that's going to be game. Oh, rage quit on Nocturne's part. I gotta say, though, no Quicksilver Sashes against a heavy stun team. And no focus of Kog'Maw, even when he didn't have that Guardian Angel up. And that's going to allow him to get that double kill. 22 kills for Kog'Maw. 22. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Great play from the red team. Good protection on their part. Unfortunate for the blue team, they had that game locked for a good portion of this. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks for listening.